preservation story of the Milwaukee Soldiers Home is one of overcoming obstacles through collaboration, creativity, and perseverance. Established in 1867, the Milwaukee Soldiers Home is one of the earliest branches of the National Home for Disabled Volunteer Soldiers, created by Congress and President Abraham Lincoln to care for volunteer Union soldiers disabled during the Civil War. Part of the Clement J. Zablocki VA Medical Center, the Milwaukee Soldiers Home is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and is a National Historic Landmark. In 2009, the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation undertook a review of the medical center's compliance with Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. This assessment brought together dedicated partners, including the VA, Wisconsin State Historic Preservation Office, National Park Service, and Milwaukee Preservation Alliance, to discuss long-term maintenance and preservation of the campus. In 2010, when efforts began to find a use for 6 historic buildings on campus, the most prominent building, known as Old Main, had been vacant for 20 years and was in disrepair. The other historic buildings included the Administration Building, the Catholic Chaplain's Quarters, and 3 duplexes. In 2011, the National Trust for Historic Preservation named the Soldiers Home to its 11 Most Endangered Historic Places list and elevated it to a national treasure in 2012. Ultimately, through consultation, it was determined these buildings could be reused through VA's Enhanced Use Lease program, which allows private developers to lease and rehabilitate underutilized VA property for veteran-related purposes. A Community Advisory Council of Veterans and related organizations met regularly to explore preservation solutions. Committed stakeholder engagement ensured public involvement throughout the process. Under the leadership of real estate developer the Alexander Company, many partners contributed to save the Soldiers Home. VA was involved in all aspects of the project and continues to provide supportive services. The Housing Authority of the City of Milwaukee is a co-owner and operator. National Equity Fund is a federal tax credit investor member. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development provides HUD-VASH vouchers, and Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority provided many financing options. The Alexander Company creatively financed a $44 million project through use of no less than 13 different capital sources, including federal and state historic tax credits. Many other partners, including more than 650 individuals and organizations, donated to the project through a fundraising campaign. Historic preservation, adaptive reuse, affordable housing, community engagement, and economic development were the pillars of this revolutionary redevelopment project. Special efforts were made to retain historic elements, and the rehabilitation complied with the Secretary of the Interior's standards for the treatment of historic properties. All stone, brick, tin ceiling and wall tiles, and historic doors and windows were repaired and restored. Slate was sourced from a quarry in Vermont to match the original slate roof tiles. The wood and terrazzo floors were repaired and refinished, and matching recycled historic wood flooring was used in select areas. The wide central corridor of Old Main was restored to its historic appearance. The Administration Building's tower clock was restored, and Old Main's original pool table was restored for continued veteran enjoyment. The rehabilitation resulted in 101 housing units for veterans and their families who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. This extraordinary project, completed in March 2021, was a true labor of love that brought together a community for the benefit of America's veterans. That is why the Milwaukee Soldiers Home is the 2021 recipient of the ACHP HUD Secretary's Award for Excellence in Historic Preservation.